Um, so how's the Ndop festival going? What's the planning for the next one? It's in November next year, is it?
Yes.
So how's everything going so far?
For the moment, I'm still focused on the report I have to finish. I've not yet finished the report,
Hmm.
and we are thinking about the possibility of translating the report for English speakers.
Okay.
Because some people, as Brother Dennis, he said he would like to have the English version
Okay.
for them to know what it's all about. So we
Okay.
are thinking about translating it in English
Mm.
to for everybody to feel involved in the
Okay.
project. So
Okay.
now we are at the same time preparing for the next edition who will take place in November
Okay.
2022.
Okay. Oh,
And I would like to share something with you since
okay.
we are
Go ahead.
talking about the festival.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was after the first edition, we had some criticizes from people
Hmm.
who thought that how can you be talking about the Ndop festival and we see people using wearing the ukara. The ukara or the ukara ekpe is the clothes from the same I would say maybe the same background as the Ndop, but which is used mostly by the ukara ekpe,
Hmm.
a society, secret society in Nigeria.
Okay.
So from those questions people were asking, I started saying, what is there any difference between DOP and Okara? I would like to say that the theme for the next edition is Ndop, the Ndop as a cloth of African revelation.
Okay.
Because we think that through that the story of that cloth,
Mm.
we will see many aspects, many unknown aspects of the history of Africa.
Sure.
So trying to understand or trying to see whether there's any link between the Ndop and the Ukara,
Mhm.
we came to know that the Ukara
Mhm.
is from Nigeria, it is true, and from the southwest of Cameroon.
Okay.
But the Ukara Ekpe, which is used by the Ekpe society,
Is it
the
Igbo? Is
expert,
it? Is it Igbo?
yes, the
Okay.
Igbo. But
Mhm.
what I would like to say here is that many people just know that the Ukara is from the Igbo people.
Mhm.
But the Ukara, the designs found on Ukara is what it is the scripture we call that is called the CBD. The CBD is the scripture on the Ukara. In fact, talking about the Ndop or the Ukara, it is a type of scripture. It is a philosophy that
Mhm.
has been transferred on those clothes. So, where is the origin of CBD?
Oh,
The CBD is from the Ejagam people, and the Ejagam people are found in 63 villages in Cameroon and 99 villages in Nigeria.
wow.
So, when they were explaining the origin, some members of that society
Mhm.
came out to say that the CBD scripture, in fact, the Ejagam people came from Cameroon to migrate to Nigeria.
Okay.
So, if the Ukara is from Cameroon,
Mhm.
now we are asking a question: is
So the
there any
origin is to
difference?
find out where is the origin because, like you said, there's more Nigerian village who actually utilize the Ukara than in Cameroon. You said there's 63 village in Cameroon, and
It,
there's
it could be just it could be just one village in Cameroon. People can go from somewhere and
and yeah, exactly, and then spread in the other part.
okay, yes, that's it.
Yeah.
So now we're asking the question to know: is there any difference between DOP and Ukara? But when we look into the techniques of production,
Mhm.
it is exactly the same process.
Mm.
It is exactly the same techniques. Then we think that we cannot say that the Ukara is different from Ndop, but we can say that the works carried out around Ukara, or many people have worked around Ukara more than Ndop.
Okay.
And we think that it is important today because when they were giving, there was a, I saw it in a video, or they had a conference in 2015 in the United States
Mm-hmm.
with this Professor Ivo Miller, who had worked a lot on the Ukara clothes, yes. So now we think that from that, people have to work, or Cameroonians or Africans in general have to work deeply on those, on other different aspects of our culture, because our culture is today, the young people are not feel concerned by the culture because the culture is not written, or the knowledge about culture is not written. That is what I can say. The western region of Cameroon, the northwest, and that part, because those 16 villages are in the southwest. When you take those three regions plus the Igbo people in Nigeria, you will see that we are found at the same place. It is the same geographical place. Just that people, with colonization, they've created boundaries between villages. So we can say it is the same people, since the Igbo people are also the grassfield, or we prefer sometimes to say the grassland cross river.
Yeah. No.
Grassland and cross river, it is the same people.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. Introduce Ndop to anyone again if you.
Okay, the Ndop is this clothes, or this textile that is commonly called here in Cameroon the Bamileke clothes. But we don't like that expression of Bamileke clothes because it is something now since the 21st of February 2021, 2020, the Ndop has become uh, uh, an intangible heritage of Cameroon, national intangible heritage. So we can almost say that it is just something belonging to the Gracio people. It is that clothes that not only has this spiritual aspect, but also has a religious aspect. It is a cloth that is mostly used during. It is not wear by everybody because, in fact, the Ndop is a philosophy that has been transcribed into symbols, and those symbols put on a cloth. But that cloth is produced through a special way because it is a work of handicraft men. It is not just a cloth you go and buy to the market. That is what makes that clothes very particular. So since it is not something where by everybody, you have to, you must deserve to wear it. And for you, I am a princess, but I cannot wear the Ndop. I cannot wear the authentic Ndop material. I can wear maybe the copy, as we call here, because for me to wear that original, that authentic one, it it should be something that has been done publicly, because maybe I've made something that distinguish me from the other people in the society. And we see that in all societies where those practices exist, they are the most dynamic society. Because when you see somebody on which the Ndop is put publicly, saying you have distinguished yourself in the community, this is what motivates the other people to do the same, to work hard for them to be able to wear it. So that is what I can say about that Ndop. And then Ndop is not used anyhow. We can use it for some ceremonies. We use it when a king is dead. It is what is put on his coffin. C'est quoi le cercueil? C'est quoi? C'est coffin.
Coffin,
Voilà.
yeah. Coffin, yeah.
Yes. uh, and during the funerals, we also use it for funeral. And you will see, as I was talking about Ukara a while ago, you will say it is the same thing. The Ndop or the Ukara are used in the same circumstances. That is, I don't know whether I've answered to the question. So it is after discovering all those the riches behind that clothes that we decided to organize a festival, because we think that through a festival, through the activities of a festival, we can share with others what we know about that special uh, clothes or that special material.
That's good. Thank you very much.
But yeah, I appreciate that because I've always wondered about that cloth. And you had someone on a couple of weeks ago who talked about one of the symbols there. And I don't know the name, but this is the one with the circle and the 8 points. And I had
Yes.
taken, is that called something? That symbol?
The symbol of the cycle.
Of the circle, yes, at the bottom of her dress.
The cycle with 8 branches.
Yes.
That symbol is the symbol of the grassfield people believe in reincarnation. They think that the dead are not dead. The dead are still there with us. So in that cycle, we see that we have one part with one part that is empty. We have another part who have
yes.
Yes, the part that is empty symbolize the world of the ancestors.
Okay.
The people who are not still alive. And the second part is the world of the living.
Okay.
And it is a way of saying that the dead are not dead. And for you to be an ancestor, you should have lived in a special way. Not everybody is called to become an ancestor.
Ah, beautiful. Okay.
Okay.
That's wonderful. And it's very helpful because I am doing some research that really came out of what I've heard here and other places about African spirituality. And so when you just said this was a spiritual cloth,
Yeah.
I was really interested in it because I'm giving a presentation at the end of the month about what I call the spiritual, rhythmic, and hidden history of freedom's call. And it's talking about how we here in this country, when I'm going to use the word, we had the discussion before about enslaved Africans came over. We brought our spirituality, our African spirituality with us. And the have never left. And so I'm learning more about the spirituality before the journey. And this helps add to that, not so much Cameroon, but just African spirituality, which leads into what we here have done in terms of the spirituals in our singing and our dancing and the gospels, which the Christian and jazz, and all of that has an emphasis and an impact and an influence because of African spirituality. The call and response, I mean, it's just a fascinating story. So I'm very excited about pulling some of this together, but it's an ongoing journey. But this really helps me. And I actually wanted to know how to procure the cloth, but you're saying this is a special cloth to be worn for special purposes. Is that right?
Hello?
Yes.
Did you hear the question? This is
No.
a special cloth, Ndop. Is that the way you pronounce it? Ceremonial, a special way, not just anybody should wear it. Is that, am I correct in that?
I'm not getting the question.
When one wears this cloth, I thought you were saying that it was done like for funerals. Everybody cannot be an elder. That it was for special ceremonies when you wear it. Am I correct on that or not?
Yes.
Okay.
The issue with the Ndop is that today with the modern world, people think that they can wear it anyhow, and it is
Right.
one of our project is to make people know and understand that it is not something that has to be worn by everybody. So, as a spiritual clothes, we have some people here who share their experiences with that clothes. For instance, my elder brother told me the other day that he went to the market, he bought the clothes, and the one day like that he was going to a funeral and he wore the clothes. But he said from where he left and to where he was going to, it was as if he lost maybe 15 kilograms, because when he was in the car, he was seated behind a lady, and from the clothes the lady was wearing, he knew it was a queen. She was a queen. She was somebody special in the society. And it is always said that when you wear like that, people will just give you a test spiritually, test your level to know who you are. And it is what he felt. When he went there, he met another person. The person looked at him. And now, if the person love you, the person will ask, who are you? But at times, he will just give you a spiritual test. Then if you feel that if you are not at the
Still there? Okay, by the way, Sister Kimby is asking if it's okay for her to post this video on her YouTube. So she just want to ask if everyone is okay with that.
This?
Yeah, because it's being recorded. So she just want to know if she can post it, she can use it. Yeah. Oh, that's quite interesting. So is Princess still there, or she's in the western part of Cameroon in Batu Farm? So I guess that the Wi-Fi probably just dropped over there. She's in the Bamileke Kingdom. So anyone, while we're waiting for her, anyone got any question, anything? Anyone? Okay, I'm gonna ask question to Brother Louis. So again, thanks again for being here tonight. And my question was that, do you think that the problem we're having in our country at the moment, you think that we're going to be able to find a solution to that?
Well, I think, there's no problem that doesn't have a solution.
Mm-hmm.
The solution is clear. The solution is dialogue. The solution is go back to the table and have a plain conversation with no preconditions, and and come up with something that is stronger and better than what we have now. So it's possible to get the solution, but if the situation continues to deteriorate by the day, as the days go by, it becomes more and more difficult to get this. It's a problem that is being put to future generations, because it will last for very long if an immediate solution is not sought for the problem.
Okay.
The more time it goes, the deeper the wounds get, and then you just have the can kick down from one generation to the other, and it becomes this kind of resilience that we have seen or resistance that we have seen in pockets in Africa, several areas of Africa, where you have 30 years of conflict, but the end result is there. And why do we want to go through all that before we come to where we know we will logically end at? So I think it's if the government has a real will to solve the problem is something that can be sorted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think that the referendum would be probably the first step just to actually resolve the issue? I mean, at least the referendum at the moment would be the first step.
Well, if you had a referendum,
no, not the referendum. I mean the federation. Sorry, federation. Yeah.
Federation is that's what we had was a federation, and it was tampered with. If we go back to it, maybe you'll be able to convene and do it in a way that is a true federation.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be able to reconvert majority of the English-speaking population back into the fold of unity and federation, because it's already the more time goes and the more the wounds get deeper, the more resilient the people become, and then the more they'll stick to the position of, okay, if I ask for 50% and you could not meet me in the middle, and we what we lost is why not just ask for the whole 9 yards, ask for the whole 100%. So the more the problem is not solved, the longer it takes to solve the problem, the more difficult it becomes to solve it. But there's a real chance that you can still solve the issues with the true dialogue and negotiations.
Okay. So I guess the film was actually stopping the Cameroon, to actually go on that path, is because, like you say, there's a lot of agriculture, and there's a lot of wealth on that area. So they think that if they probably release that area, they're not going to be able to explore that. Is it probably the reason they don't want to sit down and talk about it and then get it sorted?
No, I think it's not even so much about what they lose for agriculture, though that is a factor. It's about governments being recalcitrant and not wanting to negotiate, and not wanting to be seen as weak, and wanting to use the power that they have, the monopoly of force that they have to solve problems, rather than having a peaceful way of handling the problem. Because Cameroon was created following a conversation, a referendum. If it has to be, if it has to be separated, if they have to split, it will be a political action. It was created following a political action. If it has to split, it will be a political action. If it has to be strengthened, it will be political action. There is no military solution to the problem. So there's a military solution cannot solve this problem. It's political will and political action, and bringing everyone on the same table.
Where does your president stand? Your current president stand? in terms of solving the problem diplomatically or otherwise?
His stance is that the Cameroon is one and indivisible, and he will not entertain any conversation if it has to talk about splitting Cameroon into two. That's the position that any president of a nation, when you swear to be a president, you swear to protect the integrity of a country, right? So that's a logical position for the president to take. But there is need for genuine dialogue. Some form of dialogue took place, but it was just a masquerade of a real dialogue. Because when you dialoguing, and you instead of what you want to do is have the people that are actually asking for something. I mean, if someone is asking for independence, and you go and you are talking with someone who is part of those people, but is not asking for independence, you're talking with yourself. You're not talking with the real people that are on the ground asking for that. Right. So if the dialogue was really inclusive in strict sense, it would have included something, but it wasn't that inclusive. It never included the actors on the other side that are actually calling the shots.
When you have dialogue, is it primarily in French?
It's both.
I mean, is that part of the problem?
No. Well, the problem in Cameroon, it's about the English-speaking populace and the French and the administration. There is no problem between the English-speaking population and the French-speaking population, because you have English speakers and French speakers living in harmony, in perfect harmony. Even where you have this war, even where the war is ongoing in southern Cameroon and in northwest and southwest Cameroon, you still have French-speaking Cameroonians living in that area. So there is no fight. It's not a civil war between the two groups, between the French speakers and the English speakers. No, there's never been that problem in Cameroon it's just the administration, the governing power, and the separatist forces who are clamoring for this independence. So when there was the dialogue, both languages were used, because the national dialogue that was called, which I said was not properly done, was actually chaired by the prime minister, who is from the English-speaking part of Cameroon. So both languages are often used. It's true that majority of the time the French language dominates over the English, because French makes up the population is 80 to 20. It will probably 70 to 30 now. 30% is English speaking, and 70% is French speaking. So in any case, when you say it's bilingual, you speak both languages. But if you have 70% of the people speaking French, predominantly French will obviously dominate. That is something that it's just natural that it happens that way.
You mentioned earlier about the fact that education was a problem, French versus English. Do you all teach both languages in school?
Yes, correct. Initially you had bilingual schools that were purely bilingual in the sense that you had all the subjects taught in French and all the subjects taught in English. Now you have schools. In every school, if it is in the English-speaking area of Cameroon, French is taught as a subject. This is in the French part, the speaking part of Cameroon, English is taught as a subject. And then you have some schools, for example, this school where the cultural, the traditional activities were filmed by Mary. It's an Anglo-Saxon school located in the French-speaking part of Cameroon. So so in earnest, the culture, it's diversity at its core. It's something that would have benefited the nation if it was if it was properly harnessed, because I mean, going around the world, when you speak another language, it's always a very big plus. If you can speak two languages or three or more, it's always a plus. So the bicultural bilingual nature of the country would have really been it would have been a surplus. It would have been something, an asset for the entire nation.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. Okay, anyone got anything? Sister Chinko, are you still there? I think you were still talking. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm there.
If you can finish before we can round up and. Okay, go ahead. I actually got a question for you, sister. I was looking at the French ambassador. Was it Batu Farm? Hello? Are you there? Hello?
I don't know if anybody has a question.
Okay. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. I was asking whether anybody has a question about Ndop.
Be proud of who we are. That is who we are. Our soul voice we have. Okay. Be proud of who you are.